Summer is upon us. I'm actually not much of a summer girl. I don't like to be hot. I prefer cozy vibes, sweaters, blankets, fireplaces, hot drinks, all of that. Give it to me all day long. Summer, on the other hand, is busy and sweaty and hot and sweaty, and it is not my favorite. However, this summer might be at least manageable, I'm hoping. First of all, I'm out here getting my steps. I decided that I want to try and raise my daily average step count to 7,500 steps by the end of the year. Right now, I did the math and it's at like 6,400, which is a lot lower than I would have guessed, to be honest. But that's what the math says, so the math is mathing, I guess. So, in order to raise it to 7,500 by the end of the year, I need to hit a little over 8,000 steps a day from now until then. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that will happen, at least not every day, but if I can, as often as possible, overachieve, then maybe it'll average out. We'll just see what happens, honestly, but right now that goal, that little mini goal every day is very motivating, and I'll take all that I can get in terms of motivation. As you know, I have struggled with running for a long time now. This feels gentler and therefore more sustainable than running. But we'll see. Ask me again when it's a bajillion degrees outside and I am super hot and sweaty and sapped of all energy and have no motivation. We'll see how it goes then. But it is super gorgeous out right now. It's like 80 degrees. It's perfect. If summer could be like this all the time, then I would be a summer girl. Like, I would be okay with that. But it's soon going to be 100 degrees and like 110% humidity, and that is the summer that I don't do well with. I don't find it enjoyable. I don't understand the people who do. I suppose if I lived on a coast or near water, maybe I would like it better. I don't know, but I do like the 4th of July. I have a lot of fond family memories of fireworks and being at the lake with my grandparents for the 4th of July. So that one day out of the whole summer is okay, but otherwise I could just skip over it completely and I'd be okay with it. The girls are also doing summer camps this summer, which maybe isn't very exciting for me, but it will at least be a distraction from the heat, so that's good. We also got a new digital calendar recently, the Cozy LA, not sure how you say it, but it has been a total game changer. It has this chore functionality where it'll track your kids' daily chores and even like one-off chores or weekly chores. And they earn stars for every chore that they complete. And then they can redeem those stars eventually for rewards. And you set it all up, the like star amounts and the rewards and all of that stuff. But the kids love it and have been consistently doing their chores since we set it up, and I am amazed. I hate managing that, and I'm just really excited to not have to. We also put the AnyList app on it, which I had never used up until this point, but we started using it, and we use it for meal planning and grocery shopping, and it is awesome. I cannot believe that I've never used this before. So you import all of your recipes, and then you can set up your meal plan, and then you can from those recipes, you can have it generate a grocery list, and it integrates with Walmart, where we already do our grocery shopping anyway. And so it will take you to the Walmart app and automatically search all of the items on your list, and you just pick which one you want to add to your cart, and then you check out and you're done. It is so smooth and so easy. Seriously, like a 2-hour task of meal planning and then grocery shopping took me like 20 minutes. Mind blown. So far, that app and calendar together, the calendar is an Android device, so we can put the app on it. And then when we're cooking, we can pull up the recipes and you can see step by step everything. It's amazing. And that has just like completely revolutionized the way I feel about two things that I really don't like managing. So if it can put a little bit of a shine on that, we're off to a really good start. Caleb and I are also going to go see Andy Grammer in concert later in the summer, which is exciting. But probably the most exciting thing is that we are finally going to remodel our kitchen. We have been dreaming about that since before we even moved into this house. The kitchen is very, very old. The house was built in the 1920s. The floors are original from the 1920s. There are huge gaps between the floorboards. It's a wooden floor, and so you can never ever get them clean. It's awful. The counters are tile. Half of them are cracked and broken. It again never looks clean because the grout is super old. The cabinets are a DIY project from the previous owner that are very questionable. Like, it's just not great. It never looks good. It doesn't feel good to be in. But we never really thought that we would be able to remodel. But we're working with a family friend who is a woodworker and who offered to build us the cabinets. It is an incredible opportunity, and I'm so sorry if you can hear the farmer next to me, but I'm so grateful that we're getting to do this. Like I said, we never actually thought that this would happen. I mean, kitchen remodels are insanely expensive. Building the cabinets ourselves and then doing all the labor and the actual installation and like the remodel itself by ourselves saves us a lot of money, but it's still not cheap. So I'm very, very grateful and very, very, very excited. That's going to happen in late July, and our kitchen will be out of commission for a while. The schedule right now says between a month and a half, if all goes to plan. And things like this never go entirely to plan. So that will be a bit of an adventure, I'm sure, but it's going to be so worth it. I'm so excited. Our kitchen is it has its issues, and I'm very, very excited to soon be rid of them. Okay, I'm really embarrassed to be doing this, but I feel like you're not going to understand fully just how exciting this kitchen remodel is unless I actually show you the kitchen. Here she is. We've got our sink full of dishes, don't mind that, and some baked goods on the counter, but you can see we've got the really old cabinets with the awesome, yeah. So good. Oh, and the floor. Do you want to see the floor? But here's the floor. The original floors, so they're like 100 years old with super big gaps between all the boards that we can never get clean. It's great. It's great. I cannot wait to get this redone. It's going to be so good. How many unused lip products is too many? I'm just swapping my purses, and I was cleaning out my little doodad pouch, I guess. And I have all of these lip products in it, and I only use 2 of them probably. A lot of them are just stuff I've tried, like some of the Burt's Bees newer lip oil stuff. They're okay. My problem is something like this requires a mirror for me to apply because otherwise it looks sloppy. And that's an extra step that I just don't want to do. I do really like these Versed cashmere color lip balm thingies. Come on, here we go. Because these I can apply. It's like a very sheer lipstick, but I can put them on just like a lip balm, and it never looks sloppy because it's so sheer and it's just a little bit of color. So these I really like and use. Obviously, just chapsticks I use, and I really like these Sunbum SPF chapsticks because they feel like a regular chapstick. I've used ones before. They're really hard and crusty, and they make your lips feel really dry. These don't do that. These feel good, so I can keep those. But I have, this Tarte plumping lip oil. I have lip glosses. I have these things from ColourPop that are, it's kind of like a lip balm, but it's also a lipstick. It's a cross between the two, but it's not as sheer as this one. So again, I need a mirror to apply, and I just never put that on. So should I just get rid of them? Probably. I should probably just get rid of them. Okay, I'm going to get rid of some. I am struggling with this book so hard right now. I am about halfway through, not quite, but almost halfway through. And it's not because it's bad. It's actually pretty good and it's very interesting, but it's very dark and heavy. And I feel like I've been reading a lot of that this year so far, and I'm struggling with it a little bit. So I think what I want to do is pick out a summer TBR that is focused specifically on more like heartwarming, uplifting, maybe some light stories. I'm not one for romance very often, which is what I see, a lot of what I see suggested for that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go through my shelves and pick out what I think might fit the bill. I could be wrong on some of them, but we'll see. But maybe having that kind of on deck will help give me a little bit of motivation to push through this one because it is really tough going right now. Okay, so let's see what I have on. This is the bookshelf where I keep most of my unread books. I also have a bunch in another room, but for right now, we're going to start here. And I'm just going to go through and pull ones that I think might fit the bill that sound good. And then we'll see where we're at the end. Okay, I pulled a few options. There's 12 books here, which is probably a little bit much for me in the summertime just because the kids are always around when I'm at home. So there's a little less reading time. But we'll see how it goes. Some of these have been on my shelf for a while. Some of them are relatively new additions. But I think this is a good list. So first, let's start with Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. This is the author of Once There Were Wolves and Wild Dark Shores. This was, I think, her first novel. And I've read all of her other works, but this one I still haven't read. She is so good at the atmospheric novel, climate drama. What would you call that? Climate fiction. But they are also really interesting and really compelling. And there's like a little bit of suspense in each one. I don't know. She's a fantastic writer. So I want to finally read this one. Then Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This one is coming out as a movie. Or it's already out as a movie. I'm not sure. But I'd like to see the movie. I think that'd be fun. But I want to read the book first. A woman whose son has gone missing like a long time ago. She's now working at an aquarium and befriends an octopus who helps her kind of solve the mystery of her son. I don't know. It sounds really kind of weird, but I've heard really amazing things. So that one's on the list too. Then this is kind of a duo. Wreck and Sandwich. Sandwich first and then Wreck by Catherine Newman. I have heard a lot of really great things about these. They're supposed to be very funny. I know more about Sandwich than Wreck. This one is like a family vacation situation, and the main character is like premenopausal or going through menopause. And it's just kind of those like slice of life, family drama, relational observations, and like just funny stuff happens. So I really want to read both of these. They seem like really good fits. I've actually been holding on to Sandwich for a while, saving it for summer because it feels like a very good summer read. So those two are next. Then All the Bright Places. This is a Netflix film, but I would want to read the book before I watch the Netflix film, and I don't actually know if I'd watch it or not. But basically, there's two characters, high schoolers, I believe, who are both struggling with their mental health, and they meet. And one then improves because of that relationship, but one deteriorates. But it's all about how they look for like the bright things in their life, even when the rest of the life sucks. So what things are worth living for? What small highlights can you kind of cling to? It sounds very intriguing. I always love a good mental health theme because I too struggle with my mental health. So reading about it is just uplifting and nurturing and like a connection with the author and with the characters that otherwise isn't usually as strong. I don't know. It's a really great, intriguing read, I think. Then, Ways to Find Yourself by Angela Brown. So this one, the main character, her husband has just left her, and so she returns home to Seadrift, the beach town where she and her mother summered for years. So a very familiar setting. to her, and she kind of rediscovers herself and a path forward. It sounds very like life affirming and uplifting, but not necessarily. There's a little bit of romance in here. It does say that she revisits a love that she left behind. Grace is forced to remember who she used to be. It's the only way she can still figure out, or she can figure out who she can still become. So there is a little bit of a romance element, but it doesn't sound like it's the main piece of this. But that whole like rediscovery and moving forward theme, that's appealing. I don't know. Again, sounds like a good summer read. The Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife. If I remember right, this one is like he goes into a retirement home but adopts someone else's identity and lies, but he gets found out. But so it's about being who you truly are and discovering, that your life is worth living. Frederick is alone. His friends have all passed. He's 82. And he gets mistaken for a missing resident of a local nursing home, and he decides that he's just going to play along. And so he pretends to be this person. He meets other residents. He develops friendships, and they kind of out him, one in particular. And it says, will she expose the truth before Fred can return a broken life to mint condition? We'll find out. Calls it a clever, hilarious, feel-good novel about forgiveness, redemption, second chances, and finding family. I love a found family situation, found family trope, so this one is right up my alley. Everything is Probably Fine by Julia London. Yeah, this is about a woman who gets mandated to a 30-day wellness program at work because she's having some struggles with controlling her emotions. And so will she go along with it? What does she discover about herself, about her family, about her relationships, and her career? Again, life-affirming, uplifting, exactly what I want this summer. Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. And this one, the main character has kind of found herself not where she expected to be at this point in life and is mentally struggling. And I think she's divorcing her husband also. Yeah, her husband just left her. So she goes to her childhood home and rediscovers who she is. There's a lot of similarities between a lot of these, I feel like. But there's a lot of similarities between a lot of these, but I feel like that just shows that I am drawn to the same type of story, that uplifting, like life-affirming, feel-good stories, like things that make you feel happy, feel lighter. Anyway, so Martha goes back to live with her parents. There's a missing sister or a dead sister, I'm not sure. So she goes back to live with her parents and kind of rediscover who she is and who she can be. Says feels like the end, but maybe by going back, Martha will get to start again. Maybe there's a different story to be written if Martha can work out where to begin. I feel like a lot of us feel like that, especially in our 30s, where you're sort of hit a dead end. Things haven't turned out the way that you expected them to. And it's like a turning point. Either you spiral or you figure out a way to move forward. I feel like that's what she's going through here. The Bright Years, this is a book of the month pick that I have never gotten to. Author is Sarah Damoff. Yeah, so it's the parents and the daughter, and it's about kind of their relationships within that family circle. Both parents have secrets, tragedy, drama in their lives, and so we're exploring how it affects not only their relationship, but their relationship with their daughter and her life growing up. And then as she is an adult, kind of looking back and how they come through that together and forgive each other and, be restored by the power of grace and compassion, it says. So, again, love family stories, love life-affirming, uplifting, warm, fuzzy endings. Sounds like this could be a little bit more dramatic than some of the other ones, but with the same sort of tone in the end. Mad Mabel is another book of the month pick that I haven't gotten to yet. Mabel has some murder in her past, and she befriends or is befriended by a younger character who she has to decide how truthful she is going to be with. And so it's kind of that quirky relationship between the two of them. The author of this one is Sally Hepworth. It sounds like fun. It just sounds like fun, and we can all use a little bit of fun. The Burning Side, also by Sarah Damoff. This one is about a couple who, like, their house burns down and they have to go live with her parents or his parents. Yeah, they retreat to April's childhood home in Dallas, where her spirited parents and siblings provide both comfort and complication. So their marriage is kind of on the rocks before their house burns down. And so then when they go back to live with family, I'm sure chaos ensues. It either brings them together or drives them further apart. sounds like a good story about relationships and like that human condition and just people. A story that portrays the nuances and the truth and reality of people and how difficult we are and how we work together. We forgive, we forget, we grow, or we don't. We'll find out. But this one sounds, again, like it might be a little bit more dramatic alongside The Bright Years, but in a very on theme kind of way. So that's 12 books. That's 4 books a month, June, July, and August. That doesn't seem actually that bad now that I break it down like that. But I now need to finish Would Be so that I can get started on this list. So wish me luck.